Hello and welcome to this, the first of our weekly podcasts from Culture Express here at CCTV News. This is a really good opportunity to see a little bit of behind the scenes stuff from Culture Express, of course our daily live show, as well as meet some of the people in the team who make the show happen. So I'm delighted to welcome our very first guest onto the podcast, Shen Li from Culture Express. Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me. First of all, how long have you been on the show?
Well, I first joined Culture Express in April this year, so it's just a little bit over 6 months.
Great, so that's a similar amount of time to me as me actually. How have you found it so far? I mean, it's quite a varied show, isn't it? We feature so many different stories, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, before coming to the show, I could never think that culture has so many levels and size, that everything is related to culture.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think is your kind of main area of interest or expertise? Because culture is such a massive umbrella term, isn't it, that we kind of throw around quite a lot. But for you, what do you think is something that you would think is like your specialism, as it were?
Because I started playing piano when I was 7, so I'm really into that area, and so my favorite reports would probably be related to the piano sensation Lang Lang.
Of course, yeah, a firm favourite at Culture Express.
Yeah,
I think he's on every day, isn't he, Lang Lang?
Yeah, I mean he recently won a lot of awards.
Yeah, he's crazily famous.
He's making news every single day.
He's like a UN Goodwill Ambassador. I saw yesterday, actually, we featured on the show that he's been honoured with an honorary fellowship at Oxford University.
Tell me about it.
He's done everything, that man. He's a superman. Right, what I really wanted to talk to you about was Gravity, because it's just opened in China, hasn't it? Now, did you see the first Hunger Games?
Yeah.
And you did like it?
Some people say that it was the American version of the Japanese film Battle Royale. Have you seen that film?
No.
Okay.
I haven't seen that.
I mean, the storyline is basically the same, but I think the Hunger Games, it's more, fancy with all the CGs. And
yeah, sure. Back to Gravity, which has just opened here. And I know that Gravity has just passed the $500 million mark at the box office, so it's been a huge hit.
Yeah.
Do you think that's justifiable? Do you think it's as good as everyone else is saying it is?
Well, I think there may be multiple reasons for this, because right now we don't have any Chinese productions that can match that.
You briefly mentioned that on Monday you reported on the end of year movie market, and that ran on Culture Express yesterday. Tell us a bit more about this kind of end of year battle. Is it the same kind of trend in Chinese films at the end of the year? Do we have lots of Chinese films battling it out for their audiences?
I mean, obviously this is what we call the golden period for box office, because we have Christmas and the New Year's, and the Chinese New Year is also coming. So it's a giant cake that everybody wants to get a share.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of, for you, are there any other Chinese films that you're really desperate to see, some new films that are coming out?
Probably the police story played by Jackie Chan.
You're a fan of Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
Great, cool. Now, what I also wanted to talk to you about was, you've done quite a few reports, or at least a couple that I can think of, on the auction markets that happen here in Beijing.
Oh yeah, last week.
Yeah, it's a really big news story here, isn't it? Because we're having this sort of autumn sale, which is, we have two main times of the year when there are big auctions here, in spring and then again in autumn, so now. Tell us a bit about this, the preview, the China Guardian preview that you went to.
Okay, well, the event I went to was actually the 20th anniversary of China Guardian. They have this huge exhibition of the items that used to have record-breaking sales, and so it was ranging from antiques like porcelain and furnitures to more contemporary modern paintings. It was really an eye-opener.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then there was also the auction that went with that. There was a big auction as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Did you see all of the lots, the pieces that were being sold, that were on sale?
Yeah, I just glanced over.
Okay. And was there one particular piece that you thought, yeah, I think I fancy that one. I'm going to put a bid in for that.
Well,
maybe out of your price range, maybe, or?
well,
offense.
anything, everything is really over my price range.
Right,
But
okay.
I think for good investment, I might choose the antiques because they might turn out to be more valuable than right now.
Cool. And
But
is there
for
a particular...
decoration, I think I'll just stick to modern paintings.
Nice. Chinese modern paintings?
Yeah.
Or... Interesting. There's also a Sotheby's auction happening this week,
Oh, really?
which has got some more contemporary, more modern art in it. I saw that one of the stories that we featured, because of course we don't just feature Chinese stories, lots of stories from around the world, the Francis Bacon triptych, which sold for
Yeah.
an obscene amount of money, $142 million, I think?
Yeah, the highest ever.
That is crazy.
I know.
Do you think that was worth it? Did you see the pictures?
Yeah, I've
the
seen
video?
the pictures. Well, I think it's not just about the paintings, it's also about Francis Bacon.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think when an item fetched really ridiculous price,
Yeah.
it's all about the story behind it, not the artwork itself.
I mean, there's so few people in the world who could afford to buy those types of paintings, aren't there? I mean, it's just like rich collectors passing around pieces of... I mean, who's going to buy that next? I mean, they're going to have to pay.
Well, somebody's got to buy that.
Well,
They
yeah.
have monies to bank.
I really think we should be painting, Shen Li. I think this is where we're
Start right
going wrong. We
now.
should start painting right now. I mean, $142 million, that's a lot of money. Okay, so what's coming up then for you in the next week? Is there anything exciting that's coming to Beijing that you know of? Or what types of things do you like doing in your free time, culturally or in the arts world? What types of things would you do just for enjoyment?
I just, checking if there's any new movies going on and any theater dramas.
Okay.
Yeah, and
What types of stuff? Do you like more traditional Chinese types of stage shows, or do you ever see any Western performances here or productions?
well, to be honest, I'm really into, Western plays and Western theaters because back in college I studied French literature, so we really sing a lot of French productions. And here in Beijing, I'm just wondering if there's any, classic plays coming.
So many French plays that you have a real interest in.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I know this week there is a production of Macbeth coming from a company
Oh.
called TNT, and they tour all over the world, this company. And I've actually seen a production of Macbeth that they've done before. So that's coming tomorrow, Thursday, and also Friday. It's coming here. Next week, there's also a really interesting theatre show production coming from the UK, which is called The Animals and the Children Took to the Streets, which is a very long name for a play by a
Yeah.
company called 1927. And they're performing at the NCPA, otherwise known as the Egg, which we do lots of reports at. Have you done any reports from the Egg before?
Not really.
No?
I'm mainly focused on the Poly Theater and the Forbidden City
Cool.
Music Hall.
Have you been to the Egg?
Yeah, it was. Some people may criticize that it doesn't fit in the environment because it was so modern, where everything was square.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So generally people don't really like it, or?
Or maybe just me.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. What about music? Do you like going to gigs ever?
You mean in private clubs? Something
Yeah,
like
in
that?
clubs or in music venues. Do you ever go and watch live music?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of live music shows. Do you know there's a band called Hangai? It's
Yes.
it's an ethnic.
They're from Mongolia.
Yeah, from Mongolia. So the music style is really exotic, so it's very different from what we heard. But I think there is a sense of, the spirit of rock and roll in it.
Okay. I know they're massively popular. Everyone talks about them.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them. Briefly tell us about this Fox story you're working on today, because we've just come down from our office, and Shen Li, you've been working on I'd never heard of this song before. I feel like I'm an old
man.
man.
It has gone viral all over the internet. Yeah.
Millions and millions of YouTube views for this Fox song.
Yeah, and people say this was more popular than the previous Gangnam Style.
Unbelievable.
I
What's the
know.
title of it?
What does the fox say?
What does the fox say? So you've been working on that today.
Yeah.
Thank you for enlightening me and educating me. I need some education, clearly.
Yeah, I think you should, go on Twitter
Use the
or
internet
YouTube.
more.
Yeah.
The great thing, the internet. Yes, I should do that more. Shen Li, thank you very much for talking to me. It's been
Thanks
really
for having
interesting
me.
to get some insights into your experience here and also learn a bit more about Culture Express. And of course, you can tune into Culture Express every day at 6:30 on CCTV News. We'll see you again. Thank you very much. Beautiful.